Morning. Hey, yeah, as I just said, I've decided to change the chat up this week and actually focus it more about fire safety, a little bit about the mission of why I do what I do. I know the other guys will have heard a bit about fire safety before. I run a company called WA Family Fire Safety, and it basically focuses on home fires. It focuses on people ensuring the night that people have a fire, they get out alive. Because what at the moment, what most people don't know about fire safety or the assumptions they make about how prepared they are to survive a house fire means that they're going to end up with burns and deaths. And it's actually quite heartbreaking when you see the results of it. And so to really kick off, there's a question when it comes to changing the attitudes. There's a question that I ask people: when it comes to your life and your family, especially in an area of safety, is the minimum standard acceptable? When it comes to your family safety, what would you say would be an acceptable standard?
Yeah, not the minimum.
No. Yeah, 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 yeah. Most people every night they go to bed and their home is set up when it comes to fire safety to the minimum standard. They have two fire detectors. They have one outside the bedroom, and they have one usually in the hallway at the back of the bedroom. When it comes to most WA homes, there'll be two there. They're called an ionisation alarm, and they're actually now banned in Queensland, Northern Territory, and the USA because they fail in 55% of house fires, which is heartbreaking. And the results of that is that each week in Australia we have about 7 people die in a house fire. About 50 people are injured every day. And those injuries, they're not pulled hamstrings as they run out of the fire. They're a little bit more significant. Now, what the reason for that is because of there's actually, when it comes to house fires, there's 4 fatal assumptions that people make. And they're ones that I used to make. It was about 2 months after I became a dad. A friend of mine actually rang me up and he said that you need to have a look at this because at the moment you're going to bed each night thinking that you're protecting your daughter and you're not. And my first reaction when he sent me an email and he outlined everything was, oh shit. It was like, oh my God, I'm reading this thing and going, wow, I thought I was doing the right thing. And it wasn't that I wasn't doing the right thing, it was just that I didn't know better. I was operating out of a place of ignorance. Now that a lot of people, there's things that we just don't know, and we don't know what we don't know, and so we operate out of a place of ignorance. You know, people used to think that smoking was healthy. People would think that, yeah, that's okay. You know, doctors recommend this, dentists recommend that, so they're ignorant of the fact that it would give them lung cancer. So that's where if we know better and we decide to do nothing, we're no longer ignorant, we're now negligent. And so part of our mission as a company is to give people the chance to fix that so that they now know better. What they then decide to do with that knowledge is their choice. If they then have a fire and someone dies, it's no longer our problem. I know that's pretty harsh to say, but you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. So when it comes to the first one of it won't happen to me, in WA it's about 1,200 house fires each year. So about 3 to 4 houses burn down each day. And they're projecting there'll be about 1,600 next year, which is a fair whack. So the chances of you having a house fire, most people will see 5 fires within their home during their lifetime, ranging from little ones because you've dropped something on the stove that shouldn't be there, all the way through to a full-blown house fire. Cool. Fatal assumption number 2. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's worldwide. That's worldwide. That comes from the US, and then it's also backed up by studies in UK and Canada. Yeah. So it's all right. The second assumption that people make is that, well, even if we do have a fire, there'll be plenty of time to get out. Now, how long, if you had a fire tonight, and we focus on nighttime. Anyone know why I focus on nighttime fires? Yeah, it's when most people die in a fire. It's when they're asleep. It's between the hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. That's the deadliest time of the day. So, okay, you wake up tonight, there's a fire. How long do you think you have from the fire starting to get your whole family up and out? Yeah, yeah. You've got between 2 and 3 minutes, depending on where the fire is. 73% of people who died in house fires, the fire actually started in the bedroom. Who here has smoke detectors in their bedroom? You're about to. You're about to. Wendy's about to. Yeah. Okay, so a fire starts in your bedroom, and what do you think is the main cause of those? These things. Pardon? That's good. It's mobile phones, it's power boards, it's laptops, TVs, iPads, salt lamps, anything that's running electrical, and they're in the bedroom. Now, the reason that modern homes burn down 8 times faster is why? Yeah, it's partly construction. That's actually the least impacting. It's construction materials is probably the lowest form. It's actually what the things are made of. Synthetic materials. You know, it's the wood that's no longer real wood. It's the cloth that's no longer real cloth. It's synthetic. It burns a lot hotter, a lot faster, and it releases a lot more nasties, chemicals. And the third factor is open plan living. When I grew up in the UK, and you would have had the same, I'm guessing the same in South Africa, where every room used to be separate. We'd go to bed each night, and I know that when we'd get up in the morning, it was usually my dad would walk through the house and close every door. Slows fires down. But nowadays, especially WA homes, it's all open. So the fire spreads a lot quicker. And in most homes, parents sleep at the front and kids sleep at the back, with the fire detection in between. So the first time you have a fire, how are you getting to the children? Because it's minimum standard. Now, if that fire started in the bedroom and people are under the assumption there's plenty of time, when a fire burns, it releases obviously smoke, but also carbon monoxide. Now, which way does smoke go? Up. Perfect. And does anyone here, do you sleep with door open, door shut? Door shut? Yeah. Door open? Okay. What do you, window open? Yeah. Door shut. Beautiful. Now, in terms of fire safety, do you think it's better to sleep with door open or door shut?
Depends where the fire is.
Yes.
You
No, and if the fire's just at any time.
know,
Yeah, door closed. The best way to be is to have a detector in your bedroom with the right technology in that detector and have the door shut. It can be about a 900 degrees centigrade difference in temperature. And I'm not going to play the video today because it's about 5 minutes, but if you jump on the Facebook page, Underwriters Laboratories in the US actually did a test, and they show the difference between a house fire, and they build this house with a wall that comes down on the side for the end, and the fire actually shows, and the bedroom where the door was shut was completely fine, and where the door was open, it was completely burnt. And that was 2 minutes into a fire. So that's the difference between an open door and a closed door. Now, having the fire in the bedroom though, are your detectors inside the bedroom or outside the bedroom? So the smoke goes up, okay? Even if the door's open, everyone has a gap at the top of the door. So you're laying there, you're breathing in smoke, carbon monoxide. Got between 5 and 10 breaths of carbon monoxide before you're paralyzed. Does anyone know how carbon monoxide works in the body? So it knocks you out, it kills you, but what it does first is it paralyzes you. It replaces the oxygen in your muscles. It's a sticky, they call it a sticky atom. It actually replaces the oxygen in your muscles. And so you can be laying there completely coherent and you're not able to move. That's why sometimes people kill themselves in cars. And they say, oh, look, it looks like they wanted to change their mind. And you think, well, why didn't they just reach over, turn off the ignition and do it? Well, they're already paralyzed. By the time they go, oh, I don't really want to do this, it's too late. Same there. So the smoke's building up, you're breathing in the carbon monoxide. It then either has to fill up that gap or it has to go under the whole door, go under and then hit the detector. At which point, what do you think the chances of waking up are? Yeah, chances are you're already dead. So the rest of the house, they have 2 to 3 minutes. The person, if it's in the bedroom, they've got about 10 to 20 seconds. Which, yeah, unfortunately for most people, it's just not set up that way. That's just the way their bedrooms are. So can you see why the minimum standard is just unacceptable? And that's where we had it in Geelong. We're in December, so it was September. It was actually a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. 8 a.m. in the morning. House, if you look at the news clips, the house actually looks completely fine. Mum and dad put their 2-year-old and 3-year-old down for a nap. One of the toys has fallen off the shelf and it's landed next to the heater. Started smouldering. That's then built up, filled up the whole room, gone under, and then eventually found the parents at the front of the house. Parents rushed in, their daughters were already dead. And it's just completely preventable. But it's most people are ignorant. If they were then knew better but done nothing, it's kind of, well, it's on them. But if they don't know better, it's heartbreaking. So that's number. Now, as a video to show the difference in how quickly modern homes burn. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Can I get a password, please, mate? Thank you. That's right. So yeah, so we used to have about 16 minutes to get out of a house fire. We've now got between 2 and 3. So,
and we know globally that once the fire reaches the flame state,
sorry, mate.
drag it across. You just don't. And we know globally. Maybe the other way left.
There we go.
And we know globally that once a fire reaches the flame state in a residence, there is less than 3 minutes to escape. Less than 3 minutes.
So on the right side is today's rooms, and then that's the materials used 30 years ago. So that's now at flashover point, where the fire will say, you can't get that out, you need to get out. Bit different, hey? Now the third fatal assumption that people make is that we're prepared. So I've got a few quick questions for you. Has everyone got a piece of paper and a pen? Beautiful. All right. First of all, have you guys at home, have your family planned, discussed and practiced a fire escape plan? No. Okay. Now, have you got a fire blanket in your kitchen and then an extinguisher in your kitchen and your bedroom? No. Have you got smoke detection in your roof space or fire detection in your roof space, your garage, your kitchen, and then also your bedroom? No? Okay. Now, if you did have a fire, how long do you think it'd take you to get everyone up and out of the house fire? Now, that's a bit of a trick question. The reason being, and the reason I've left this up on the TV, is because if you know about a fire at this stage, it's quite easy. Especially with the way that bedrooms are, it's quite easy to get everyone up and out. If you know about a fire at this stage, it's a little bit more challenging. And if you haven't got a plan and it hasn't been practiced, and the first time you're actually doing that, especially for children, of all ages, if the first time you're actually doing that is when you're having a fire, what's the chances of everyone getting out both alive and unscathed? Yeah. And we focus on that word unscathed. I don't know if you've ever seen someone with 30, 40, 50% burns. It's heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. And so we don't just want people to get out alive, we want them to get out unscathed as well. Now, fatal assumption number 4. Who's got a fire detector? Sorry, I'm just going to drag this across. Who's got a fire detector that when you burn the toast, you are showering, you're doing a bit of cooking, it goes off and it's really annoying. You wave a tea towel to, yeah, beautiful. So would you expect that to work in a real house fire? Would you expect it to detect smoke? I would. You would? Beautiful. And if I could show you that it doesn't detect smoke, how would that make you feel? Okay. So this is on the news. Actually, I will play. Sorry, I'm going to play this one first. Beautiful. So the ionisation smoke alarm is the technology that's in that.
There was a major problem with smoke alarms. People just simply don't believe it. So what we're going to show you today will unequivocally prove that ionization smoke alarm is not really the type of smoke, the type of fire that people get in their homes, the ones that kill, the slow smoldering fire. Now, the really interesting thing is, as we know, these things go off when you burn the toast, when you have a shower, they go off all the time. You have so many false alarms, which gives you a false sense of security because you think if you have a real fire, I'm talking a fire where you have real smoke, but this thing's going to detect the smoke. And it's these type of fires, the smoldering fires, these are the fires that often kill. Because often they happen at night when you're asleep. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to put this ionization smoke on. You can see that it's working. We're going to put it straight into the smoke. See it's working. Put it in there and see what happens. So the smoke is that thick in there, and you can hardly see my hands. Yet the smoke alarm isn't making a sound. And if we recorded this for the next hour, what would happen is the smoke would get thicker and thicker, and the alarm just won't go off. They do not detect smoke. They're not a smoke detector. They're a particle of combustion detector. They don't detect smoke. They never have and they never will. They're a defective device, and the damn thing should be banned because your kid could be on that bed. And if your kid's on that bed, they're not going to wake up. Okay? So that's why you need the proper type of smoke alarm.
There you go. So they fail in 55% of fires. They're called an ionisation alarm. The way to tell if you've got them is when you get home, open up your detector. If there's a little radiation symbol and a yellow sticker, it'll then be an ionisation alarm. And they've actually now been banned in Queensland, Northern Territory, and the USA. The alternative in Australia, which is if you go to Bunnings, you'll see what's called an ionisation alarm and then also a photoelectric alarm. They've now been banned in America. So there's nothing we can buy off the shelf in Bunnings that now meets the American standards. And for all that they get wrong, when it comes to this stuff, they get it right. They're leading the world in this stuff. And it's heartbreaking because most people, they're in a place of ignorance. They don't know better, and they go to bed each night expecting that if we have a house fire tonight, our family will be alerted in time to get everyone out safe and sound, and that's just not the case. And when you hear stories of people like Matt Galinsky, I'm going to share with you the story of a lady named Amanda, and you hear their stories. And Amanda was actually the one, she lost 4 out of 5 of her children in a house fire. She had those detectors in every room of the house. She'd done what she'd thought was the right thing. And she was the one who said, the only way I get through each day is because I was ignorant. I thought I'd done the right thing. I don't know how I'd live with myself if it hadn't been my ignorance, but my negligence had cost me my children. And that hit me quite hard. With that, when do you think the aquarium test was first filmed? When do you think that video was made?
2015, wasn't it?
No, the Underwriters Laboratories one was in 2015. The one with the actual aquarium was filmed in 2005. So this isn't new information. It was first reported by Ray Martin in 2004, and it's been in the news. We've had Senate inquiries. We've had so many things about it, and it's heartbreaking because the people at the top aren't doing anything, which is why our mission is to reach the people that it affects, which is mums, dads, families, the people who get torn apart by house fires, and it's heartbreaking. So I'll play this last video. It's 43 seconds, but you'll hear from Amanda.
The average consumer thinks he's safe because he buys a smoke alarm, sticks it on the roof of his house, and he expects that before the house fills with smoke, he will be given a warning and be able to escape safe. It isn't that going to happen. Not if he's relying on an ionisation smoke alarm, not if the fire develops at night with his long smoldering phase while he's sleeping. It's almost got to the point where they should be banned. Well, I believe they should be. I gave evidence to a Senate inquiry and I said that.
Went upstairs, but the stairwell was on fire, and my youngest daughter's room doorway was on fire. We had smoke detectors in every room in the house. They either burned completely up or they melted down the wall. Not once did any of them go off. My husband's standing there afterwards, the kids, and he goes, I'm sorry, big hand and waves because they're gone.
Yeah. And that's a heavy video, and one of the questions I used to get when I started this was people go, oh, how can you say that to someone? And really, it came back with a question of, well, if you had a house fire tonight, would you rather someone have told you your alarms aren't going to work and the consequences of it, or would you rather find out when everyone's dead?